Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of creating EDM and progressive and whatever, all that stuff. I have this session right here that I started, and unfortunately, when I was making all this stuff right here, the mic didn't record. So, but I like what was happening. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over what I did, and then we're gonna move forward from there. We're gonna make a couple of parts on this video. Before we get started, please subscribe, like, and comment. Remember that the more you do stuff like that, it would encourage me more to do these types of videos. So please, it only takes a second and it doesn't cost you a dime. Just hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you so much. All right, so let's get started. Of course, we're using Cubase Pro 8 on this one, and I got a really cool melody right here. Let me let you guys hear it. So I got an arpeggio going on there. Another arpeggio and a lead, a sol lead. So that goes there, then the build up. Sounds better. Alright, so I'm just going to go through what I did to create all this. If you guys are using Cubase 8, or if you guys are not using Cubase 8, Cubase 8 has this new feature called chord pads, which I think is just phenomenal, especially for the guys that don't know how to play the piano like many people do, which is this thing right here. And that's how I did this melody, or these chords. So basically it's right here. If you're new to Cubase or Cubase 8 and you exactly don't know how to use this, it's really cool. There's this thing right here called Chord Pads presets, load presets. And what I did was I knew I wanted a minor G, so when I just search minor, and then it gives you all the scales, all the minor keys. So I picked G and I loaded this thing up, and then once I did that, I went to the circle of fifth, and then I just started finding the pattern that I want. Although the circle of fifth actually tells you what works with what. So let's say if I wanted to start on G minor, which is always in the center, you can actually start right here. So like you can tell it's very musical automatically if you follow the circle of fifth. Let me just follow the whole thing so you guys can hear it. So it sounds really cool. Or you could go the one over here. Oh. So it's really cool, and the way that I did these pads, you can actually grab whatever you have here and just drag it and put it wherever you want. So basically what I did, once I found the pattern, which is, so it's, oh. I think it's this one. Whatever, you get the point. The point is that I just grabbed them and I put them one next to each other, so I could just play them next to it. And that's how I came up with that pattern. So now, the first thing that I did right here was I'm using a contact for that piano, and I'm using factory library, which this is a grand piano. You will find that in the factory library of Kontakt. Not much going on there. If you go to the editor, I think I did some EQ, low cut shelf, and some high cut and low cuts. Nothing else right there. Then what I did was I grabbed the same chords that are right here. I copied them and I brought them down right here. I opened up an instance of Spire with a cool preset, and then I went to the MIDI inserts and I added the Apache SX, which is this thing right here, really cool. And it created these arpeggio, whatever. Now if you turn it off, it'll sound like this. So that's how I created that arpeggio. And then right here, I added the same thing again. I copied this and I put it over here, and I added another Apache SX, and I created another arpeggio, but with a higher, more like a soul type of. So it's exactly the same thing, but with a different sound. Then on the lead right here, let's open the editor. On the lead, I added a dual filter. I did some cutoffs and stuff like that. And another instance of Spire, by the way. So I'm filtering this thing. Check it out. Okay, so that's what I did with that. Then last but not least, I have pads in the background. And originally the pads, they sounded very boring because it was straightforward. They sounded like this. So what I did, I added this this plugin called Multiband Tremolo by Melodic Productions. This thing right here does wonders when it comes to stereo imaging. I highly recommend you guys go pick this thing up. It's really, really cool. Basically, you could do like a 6-band stereo tremolo, 3-band, or you could just create your own. It's just phenomenal. So it sounds like this. So why you will ask yourself, why would I use this instead of a regular tremolo? I could just get the same effect with the same tremolo. No, you cannot. This is actually grabbing 6 bands. If you guys don't understand, sorry for the guys that already understand, but there's some guys that may not understand, just in case. This right here is actually grabbing each, like, I think it's grabbing, oh, okay, it's grabbing 6 bands. So imagine if we have 6 bands right here on this EQ, and each 6 band is going left and right, left and right, left and right, but they're all going left and right at their own times. So it makes it sound bigger, like the mids are on the left, the highs are on the right, the bass in the middle, and so on and so on. So that's why I'm recommending this plugin. It's really cool and it does wonders. Sometimes I also use it on the master bus when I'm doing mastering, just to add some width and put the mix, the dry wet mix, like around 12%, and it, trust me when I tell you, it does wonders. So definitely check that out. So that's what I did with that pad. And as it progresses, I added this bass, which is nothing crazy, but I did add, oh, I have a multi-band tremolo. No, that's not supposed to be there. I was wondering why it wasn't cutting through the mix, because I duplicated that track. That's why it doesn't go there. But I am using this really, really cool plugin, which I really, really love, and I extremely recommend it. It's the brand new Volume Shaper 4. If you guys have, I know the main plugin, have a sip of juice real quick. That's good. I know the main plugin, the LFO plugin that everybody's using is Kick by Nicky Romero. But actually, it's not by Nicky Romero. It's just a simplified version of Volume Shaper. And I always use Volume Shaper Prt3 because that's the one I had, but this just came out a couple of months ago, and they finally released it for us nice people in the nice forums. And they are both made by Cable Guys. Nicky Romero's Kickstart and this is made by Cable Guys. So Kickstart is a dumbed down version of what this is right here. Why is this so special, you may ask? You know, it does the same thing as the Nicky Romero. Not exactly. And I'll show you exactly what it does. The coolest thing about this is that it has 3 bands of envelopes. Like right now, I am only sidechaining. Let's call it sidechaining, but it's actually the envelope is doing everything from 884 hertz and down. And then anything above 884 hertz is just playing regular without being ducked. That's why it sounds like this. That's why you hear the top signal of that bass lead coming through, because it's not being sidechain or envelope, however you want to say it. But you can actually get the whole thing to sidechain just by moving this thing wherever you want. In example. So I just find this so useful. And another cool thing, the libraries on this is just amazing. I guess it has a whole bunch of people that create a whole bunch of stuff. And you can also go online, link your plugin online, and you can share your presets and stuff like that. So I think it's really cool, and highly recommend that plugin for you guys to go pick it up. And it's very, very cheap. It's not really that expensive. So highly recommend the plugin. So moving on. What I got going on? Okay, so then from there I started moving on to the drop. Okay, so let's close this this chord pads right here. Chord pads. All right, before I actually move to the drop, I want to share some knowledge with the guys that are always like having a little trouble creating melodies and leads and stuff like that, and how you can go about it. Well, for example, this right here. All I did right there was I copied the chords that I already did originally with the piano. I put it right here. And for example, put it right here so I can show you guys an example of what I'm talking about. So you got the full chord right there, okay? So you're like, okay, how do I create a melody out of this? Well, first of all, what you could do is an easy way is to take out the bass and just start creating patterns on one note only. So let's say we start on G, because that's what the song is on. Then instead of leaving that, you go to F, and then you go to C, back to A, go to C, and then back to F, then D. I would recommend for you to just mute them, so that way, as you're making this stuff, you could just unmute and see what works best. So check it out. So once you have like a pattern that you like, then you start chopping them up and doing like a repeat, like dun, 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 whatever. So that's the way you would create melodies out of a chord progression. That's the way I do it. I hope you guys got up. I'm trying to move through this as fast as I can and give you as much information as possible. So with that being said, moving forward, and before that, please guys like and subscribe. It would mean a ton for me. So now moving on to the big drop, which is not really a big drop. This is more like a melodic type of drop. I don't even know. I don't even know if to call this electro or I have no idea what this is. I just do stuff, and if it sounds good, I just leave it. So let me put this in a folder. We'll select it to a new folder. Let's call this a drop. Drop leads. Okay, and I'm gonna color this a little bit darker blue. So that's what we got going on there. And again, that drop, I did the same thing with the chorus. I dropped the chorus and I put them right there. Actually, I play this, but it's basically the same thing. It's only 3 notes. And then I just layered it with this thing right here, which is running on the same note, and then I layer it with this thing right here. So altogether, it creates that movement that you hear on the mix. And over here, I think I have like kind of like a fill lead. Yep. So just to add that, I have to take out all the other leads when that plays, so it can have more, emphasize a little more on that part. I think it sounds really cool. Refreshing. Thank you. So then, as we move down over here, we got a couple of effects, which is like a big hit. Then we have a riser. And of course, I got a volume shaper on that. Which on this one, I'm having the envelope on a full band ducking thing. And then I have another sound effect here. I have the kick. So notice that I have 2 kicks, copy, and so this is the main, call it kick drop. Because it's a little bit stronger than the one that comes earlier. And for this one, I haven't seen much videos about this plugin, but I actually find it. I bought this plugin first before I purchased Kick by the Nicky Romero and Sonic Academy guys. I think it's a really cool plugin, but actually, and then I stopped using this plugin. But now I've been going back to this plugin, and it turns out that this is a way better plugin to create kicks. And usually when you create kicks, okay, when you want to make really big kicks, you usually put like, you will have like 2 to 3 to 4 kicks layered, you know, one having attack, one having this, and one having that, and that's how you create that big room kick or whatever, any kick. So, and then I started analyzing this plugin, which, by the way, I spent like about 200 something bucks on this. And no, this is not cracked, by the way. This works with a dangle key. So it has an oscillator, which you could create your low end, and then it has 1, 2, 3 sample slots, which you could use the ones that come with, or you could load in your own, which it takes away from you having to have that mess on your arrangement window with many different tracks and so on and so on. And it also has all these really cool parameters, effects that you can add into it, and MIDI, and it's basically, the plugin is really cool, and it comes with a shit ton of presets that you can actually use. So I extremely recommend this right here if you guys are trying to find a new plugin to play with that you guys could concentrate and generate a whole bunch of really cool kicks. this is really, really cool. So this kick, I made it myself. I picked from the not from the presets, from the samples that were already in there, and then on the oscillator I created my own thing, so it sounds like this. So what I did, I soloed all the elements that were there. And again, you could load up your own elements, which I think is really, really cool. And then what I did was I duplicated it. And I came over here. Same preset, but I just made the amp envelope and the sustain. I think it was the sustain is what you call it. Yeah, the time scale. Okay, the time scale on the amp envelope, you know, just go up a little bit so it can have more body and more bass. So that's what I did on that. And I should add on this right here, I should add a tube compressor. I mean, not a tube compressor, a tube. Which I'm gonna do right now. Let me go to my folder. So good, there you go. Because somebody on my channel wrote to me, plugin management, anybody? So yeah, that's what I did. So it kind of like gives it more harmonics, and it just sounds more muddy and more analog when you put the tube compressor on there. I wouldn't recommend for you to use any third party because this literally does the job. And if you want anything a little more intricate when it comes to like distortion and stuff like that, you can use the Hydro Fuzz by Steinberg that comes standard with Cubase 8, which is a really good plugin when it comes to distortions. I literally stopped using just about everything else when it comes to distortion once I got my hands on that. So that's what's going on there. And then right under it, what I did, I bounced in place and I created a lane for the sidechain. Now you may ask yourself, why would I create a lane for sidechain when I have a volume shaper and all these kickstarts and all that stuff? Because kickstart and volume shaper, they don't have I'm not sure if I'm using the exact words, but they don't have that vibe that you may be having on the kick, or let's say for example, I'm using the side. Look, I got the signal, the sidechain here, then it stops and then it starts over here, which means that I don't want it to sidechain at all times. Unlike if you put the plugin, it's always sidechaining unless you automate the on and off button, which, you know, I think it's kind of stupid and waste of time. So over here it's not sidechaining, but when it comes here, it starts sidechaining. You know, it's not like, wow, it's sidechaining a shitload, but it is sidechaining and is creating space for the kick, and that's why I did it that way. Moving forward, in the bottom I got this clap loop. Very simple. Then I have a regular clap. And there's a fill right here. And then right here's another fill with a reverse build up or something. So little things like that, they add to the track and make things a little, you know, glue things together. And then right here on the percussions, this is how the percussions, they'll sound together right here, because I already have them buzzed. So that's what my percussion sounds like. That fill right there, I'm pretty sure you guys heard it. You're like, well, that sounds kind of cool, this right here. Just to show you guys how I did that. Basically, I just, you know, programmed the sequence right there. And then on the velocity, I did an envelope. Oops, didn't want to mess that up. Not an envelope, but I made it go up, so kind of like so it can have like a volume, like if you lowering the volume. But then you might ask yourself, why wouldn't you just lower the volume and bring it back up? It's not the same. Trust me, it's not the same. I tried it. It's not the same. It's better for you to play with the velocity on the drum machine of your choice that you're using. In this case, I'm using Groove Agent. I love Battery better than Groove Agent, but Battery's a little sluggish right now. Not right now, ever, always. So it's all about speed and using the tools to make you work the fastest and give you the results. So that's why I'm using that right now. So it doesn't really matter anyway. So then I have these hi-hats things right here. And what I did right there, I panned them left to right so that way I can have more of a stereo feel. And then it goes to the end, and then that sample with the girl. That's just on a sample pack that I found it, so I just threw it in there. I thought it was really cool. And that's what I got going on. Now, there's another thing that I want to share with you guys that I think is really, really cool, because why be stingy and not share with my friends? There's a new plugin out there. I know there's a lot of analyzers. Everybody has analyzers. Everybody has all types of mastering meters and all that crap. But I found one that is actually really dope, and it's because I actually have purchased something from them. So they given this plugin for free for anybody that has purchased anything from their website, which is from Vengeance. And everybody has Vengeance plugins. Not Vengeance plugins, but Vengeance samples. Refreshing. So everybody has Vengeance samples, whether you purchase them or not. Most of you haven't purchased nothing. But if you go to vengeance.com and purchase anything, the cheapest thing you can find, they will actually give you this plugin for free, which I think is amazing. Although Cubase comes with a meter on this thing right there, like you see it blinking. But this is a little different because no DAW gives you this representation of audio, which is, that's my voice, because I'm monitoring my voice through the program. So, and it has a spectrum, and it's very accurate, and like you can tell, it's really, really fast, accurate and fast. And it gives you the key as you drag along. It gives you the key of where you at the moment, right here, if you can see right here. And then it has a stereo feel, which I think is amazing, with spectrum side, mid side, and mid side. So I think it's really cool. Why would I use this right here? Because sometimes your ears may be playing tricks on you, and you might be like, oh, that snare is, this is loud enough, or that hi-hat is loud enough. But when you play here, you'll be able to see the spectrum and everything what's going on. So check it out. So if I were to mute this and just leave the drums, so let's play this from here. So obviously you can see the kick right there. And obviously we could use more kick. Always use more kick. So you're gonna raise the kick up a little bit. The reason why I raised the kick is, like you could tell right here. Let me just get a representation, and I'm gonna freeze it real quick. I think you could freeze it right here. There you go, frozen right there. So like you could tell before, that's the kick right there on the one. Bam, 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 bam. And I was noticing that the drums were like way up here, and then the kick wasn't dominant. Remember, on a dance track, the kick is always the dominant. It's the thing that drives the track. So again, that's a simple case of me doing this for a long time, trying to write the song with the drums, and I got used to the sound, so I thought that it was in the right place. But and the other thing that I would do is I will reference this with another track, another EDM track, or something that would sound kind of alike, and compare it to see, okay, maybe I should be in this volume and blah blah. And I will also compare with my eyes to see, not comparing it with my eyes, but use my eyes to compare it in the spectrum scope. And so I think this is why this is extremely useful. And there's a billion other ways you could use this, but this is one of them. And of course, to check out your spectrum and your stereo field, which a lot of people don't know how to use this stuff right here. But basically, what this is, it shows you how wide your track is. For example, see, the kick is right in the center because it's a mono thing, but the snare, see how it comes out on the right? If I were to bring the leads, it's gonna get a little more circular. And then you see the out of phase and then in phase. So it tells you if it's out of phase. If you guys don't know about that, definitely do some homework on that, because wow, if you don't know that by now and you're calling yourself a producer. But then again, you could be beginning, so I'll just talk about it for a simple second. And I'll make it as simple as this. If your song is on this side, it's no good. If it's on this side, it's good. Eventually, it's going to blink because certain sounds are going to be out of phase because they're going to be in the stereo field. But most of it, everything has to be on this side. You don't want... This right here is more for like when you're doing surround sound and stuff like that. But we're not doing surround sound. We're doing stereo, which is stereo from here forward. So basically, you're standing right here. These are the speakers, left and right. See, left and right. You're in a safe zone right here. This right here, you're like kind of right in the middle of death and life. So that's what it is. And if I were to solo the leads, oh, not that one. So all that means is that if I were to listen to this in mono, some of those sounds would disappear. So obviously I have to, work on that later on to make sure that most of those sounds stay in the in phase side instead of the out of phase. So that's what that means. Don't think that I'm just going to leave it like that. So that's where we at with this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And on the next one, we are going to continue with this video, with this production, and try to finish it and do a couple of cool things and build ups and extra things and the drop and so on and so on. All right, my name is DJ Matt. MAD, thank you guys so much. Before I get up out of here, I want to remind you guys to please like, subscribe, and comment. The more you do those type of things, it will encourage me to do these types of videos. And most importantly, follow me on Instagram and Facebook and the webs with the S's. That's djmad.com. You can find all the links for all my social media. And of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out my other website, which is getmyremix.com. I got a whole bunch of bootlegs and stuff like that. Last but not least, follow the podcast, the My House My Way show, on the podcast app. Or and if you don't have an iPhone, just go to iTunes, or you could just Google it, the My House My Way show, or you could just Google my name and you'll find a whole bunch of cool stuff. Thank you guys so much. Hope you guys love this video. Again, like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you on the second part of this one.